Hey y'all. So, this is going to be my first ever official book review that I post on YouTube. Like, I do them all the time with my friends, but like, why not post it as content? I ain't got nothing else to lose. So, the first book that we're going to review is called Take a Shot on Me. Now, I read this on a flight and finished it on the flight back. And it's been a while since I read it, so we're going to see as much as I can remember. I might miss out some good details, so if you read this book and I missed out some things, please put in the comments some stuff that I missed out. Or if I got some stuff wrong, feel free to correct me. I'm not against criticism, okay? So let's take a shot on me. And I'm going to tell you who these characters are. So this is Charlotte, a.k.a. Lot, so she goes by Lot. And this is Dyson, a.k.a. Dice, he goes by Dice. And this is their cat, Quinny. All right, so I don't exactly remember where they live, but I just know it's like the Bay Area, Bayside, not over there in California or whatever, but like Sea Bay, whatever it is. I don't know. But so basically, they grew up together, childhood best friends. Like, they even got matching tattoos. I want to say he has the spider and she has the web, because her last name is Webb, and her first name is Charlotte. And you get it, Charlotte's Web, and then like spider, and how they met was because over a spider. So yeah, so they've been the best of friends since they were kids. They both always had feelings for each other, but none of them ever expressed it because they didn't want to ruin their friendship. So as they got older, same thing applies. Okay, now I'm going to give you a little bit of background about Dice. So what we know about Dice is his mother is a scam artist, a con artist, a scammer. She's just a bad person all around. Not a good mother at all. All she cares about is herself and her money. She even told her own son that if you don't do what I tell you to do to scam these people, I'm disowning you. I don't want you. So this man learned how to cry on spot. They scammed a lot of people standing outside trying to ask for spare change or for like, whatever. I think they even came up with a fake organization to raise money for. Yeah, it was that bad. And of course, he knew it was wrong, but he was a child listening to his mother. Can you imagine being a child, your mother telling you, if you don't do this, I'm going to disown you. I don't love you unless you do this for me. And the only thing that we know about his dad is what his mother tells us. And what she told him was, your dad is a deadbeat. He disappeared as soon as he found out I was pregnant. So all we know is, dad is a deadbeat. A coward. Okay, cool. So, you know how kids are. They like money. They want money for like little gum or whatever, little knickknacks or whatever. So he decides he's going to go into Lot's dad's car and get some change, steal some change. Well, her daddy caught him. And when I tell you, he already don't like his mama. He can't stand his mama. So off the rip, he's already judging the son based off the mama. And he went in on that boy so bad that he felt so bad he never wanted to do it ever again. Got to the point where he was old enough, he testified against his own mother in court and threw her in jail or prison and locked away the key. He decided he wanted to go visit his mama. That lady tried to come across that table or that glass and was like, I can't stand you. Why would you show your face here? I don't want you. I don't own you. You're a disgrace. You're not my son. Blah, 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 blah. Yeah, so that's the story about Dice. He's also a ladies' man. Like, he don't take I'm not gonna say he don't believe in relationships, but like, that's just not his thing. That's not something that he wants to commit to. He's just a bachelor. We'll just go with that. So let's talk about Charlotte, or Lot, for a little bit. They really don't talk about her childhood for real. All we know is her and her dad's relationship is strained. It's not that he wasn't there. It's just that he's so old-fashioned and he sees women as they should be feminine, they should be soft, they should be emotionally invested. What's another word? More sensitive, And the men should be more, the breadwinner. I ain't gonna say the breadwinner, okay? But the one who brings home the bacon, the one who's the tough one, the one who protects the family, the one who take all the beatings for the family, and he's supposed to protect his family. And then the women are supposed to be the nurturing ones, the one who take care of home and all that other stuff. Well, Lot's never been like that. Lot's been independent, stubborn, sassy, just the complete opposite of what his dad wants her to be as a woman. So of course they always butted heads when it came to stuff like that. He wants her to dress more conservative. She likes to show skin. So yeah. Her mother, I forgot her mother's name. I want to say, I can't remember. It's been too long. I remember the daddy's name in my reads, but I cannot remember the mama's name. I want to say Claudia, but don't let me get the line. I will let y'all know what the mama name is. But, the mama is just super sweet, loving, nurturing woman. You know, the man that he wants his daughter. I mean, the woman that he wants his daughter to be. But okay, whatever. And then you have the cousin Rain. She ain't really important, but like she's in the book. So yeah. Rain is running for mayor, I think, or some type of government official thing. So she's not dating because, you know, when it comes to women in their dating life, they like to bring up past stuff, and then she was like, no, it's better not me not dating. But anyway, so Charlotte decides that she wants to move to New York because she wants to follow her dreams with fashion design and whatever else she do. So she goes out there to go do that. The reason why she comes back home is because her dad had to have surgery, and so he's out for the count, and he needs her to come help run the business that he has. And guess who worked there? Dice. Dice works there as the bartender / DJ, and he is doing the dang on thing. That man has so many good ideas to bring to the business, and he's not getting paid for it because, of course, the dad can't stand him. And the only reason why the dad let him get that job is because Charlotte talked to him. He's still holding that grudge when that boy was like 8 or 11 years old. Maybe even 12. I don't know. Whenever he tried to steal that change out of that man's car. He's been holding on to that because he's like, you know, his mama ain't no good, so he ain't no good. She raised a scam artist, a con artist, so he don't trust him. And of course, I don't know if I said this, but they had feelings for each other. They just never addressed it. So when she told him that she was moving to New York, she wanted him to be like, no, please don't go. I love you. I want us to be in a relationship. When he didn't react like that, he played it cool. And the reason why he played it cool is because he knew how much this meant to her. And he knew if he said something that she would not go. And he didn't want to stop her from chasing her dreams. So he played it cool. And he's like, okay, you know, safe travels, whatever. And so she was pissed off. She blocked that man for years. Cut him off. Did he hold a grudge? Absolutely not. He did not. But everybody knows this man is in love with her. Except for her. She sees him as just this fine, sexy man who's just like a ladies' man. And all he care about is all the women that he can get. So yeah. So she comes back in town. She's, you know, doing what she can for the business. And she decides to, you know, pull up the Tinder app, whatever app, and find her something sweet to play with. You know, she don't want to play with her toys no more. She want a man. And not a man to date, but like, you know, a little man to just tickle that pickle, you know. So she ended up inviting him to the place. Not the house, but the establishment where Dice DJs at. I don't remember the name of the business that her dad runs, so that's why I'm saying it. But like, okay, Dice sees she brings another man there. He goes over there and cock block. So they get to talking, and he's like, if you want to have sex with somebody, then have sex with me. And she was like, what? And, you know, eventually they do it. And of course their feelings for each other grow more and more and more. And she's trying to deny it, or she's telling herself like, oh, I'm falling in love with him again. I told myself I wouldn't do this. I know that man don't care about me like how I care about him. But in reality, he really does. He's literally showing you by his actions. He's charging your phone. He's cooking for you. He's domesticating himself for you. He's offering his home for you, so you don't have to stay at your cousin's house. You found this stray cat that's clinging on to you for dear life, and even though she don't like nobody else, he still let that cat come over, even though that cat tore up his shoes. Like, he's doing a lot of things through his actions that show that he actually cares, and it's more than just sex between them. But she's like in her head and not accepting it. Yeah, like, I mean, there's some details, but it's not really important to the story, in my opinion. Now, there is one detail that I will talk about, and it is, there's this guy named Damon. And guess who Damon is? Dice's little brother that he didn't know he had. And the only reason why he found out is because he was getting like a unknown number calling, no caller ID calling his phone. And the first time he answered, they just breathed on the phone and they hung up. Second time he answered, which was like, time go by, and then somebody, he calls again. And he just said his name is Damon. And then hangs up. He has one of his friends who has like this security guy, private investigator, whatever you want to call it, try to track back the number. The number only dialed his number twice. Those 2 calls. And it's from Philadelphia. Tell me why that man daddy had a whole kid. And the only reason why Damon found out about Dice is because their dad got married, had a picture of little Dice when he was like a baby or maybe 1 year old, kept it. The wife found it going through some stuff, asked him about it. Damon overheard, and he decided to look him up and call him. And then they end up meeting. They end up talking about it. And this boy had lived a great life. Like, he's smart. His dad is smart. They're successful. They live in a great neighborhood. Like, total opposite of what he thought his dad was. They finally sit down with the dad. And when I say they, I mean Dice finally sit down with his dad and found out the real reason why his dad was never in his life. So, his mama was just a one-night stand. Nothing more, nothing less. She robbed that man, took that man's whole wallet. He chucked it as a loss and went on about his business. Well, she called back later saying that she's pregnant. And off the rip, he's like, she's just trying to scam me for some money. But he still sent the money. Then, when he got a picture of him, I think at 1 year old, he was like, oh yeah, that is my kid. And instead of like, I guess, taking ownership of him guardianship of him, or even accepting the responsibility to raise that child, he ran off to Philadelphia for a good job. Yeah. So even when he did know that it was his child, he still didn't do the right thing. So, whatever. And Dice picked up on that. It's like, so you're still a coward, no matter what. I don't think this relationship gonna work, but he's still gonna have a relationship with his little brother, because little brother ain't did nothing wrong. And his little brother seemed cool, and he always wanted a brother. So yeah, I gotta stand up because I can't sit for too long after my surgery. Anyway, now where was I? So remember I had talked about how they started getting intimate with each other. Their feelings grow for each other even more, but they're not expressing that. He's low-key throwing hints, like huge hints, and saying things, but she's not taking it seriously because she just see him as a ladies' man. That's just stuck in her head. Whatever. Cool. Now we already knew she had to go back to New York eventually. Well, tell me why when it's time for her to go back to New York, he's not playing it cool no more. He's like, I love you. Like, they spend their last few times together doing the nasty. And they were great at that. Woo, Lord. Very spicy, but we're not going to talk about that. And instead of him taking her to the airport, she decides to have her cousin do it because it just makes it easier. He thinks about it, and he was like, screw that. I'm not letting her out of my sight. Like, I need to confess my love for her, and I need to make her mine. So he gets in his car, and he's on the road, speeding, trying to get to the airport. They're going to Chicago's airport. So wherever they live at is near that area. 2 hours away. Driving. He get there. He sees her going through TSA, but of course he can't go through there without a boarding pass. So you know what he gonna do? He gonna run and buy a random ticket. He don't care where it's at. He just buy a random ticket, get through security, find her at her terminal. He didn't know which terminal it was at, but he got lucky and found it and found her. And he calls her. And she's like, dang, you missed me already? And he was like, look up. And she sees him. And yeah, he confesses love for her, talking about somehow he wants to be in a relationship with her, all the works, and they make it happen. Like, of course, they discuss, like, oh, well, the long distance and blah, 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 blah. But yeah, so during this time, they take turns coming to see each other. So he takes the first trip up to New York to come see her. she set up this thing where he can DJ for, I forgot who the person is, but let's just say they're this big known name DJ, and so it puts him on the map, and he's very thankful for that. They both decided to take a trip to Philly because Philly's not too far from New York to go meet Damon, the brother. They go do that, and then that's pretty much it about New York. The details about New York. She said something to him when I don't know if he had already left to go back home or it was before he left, but she basically was like, I don't want to say giving him an ultimatum, but basically saying like, eventually one of us is going to have to make a decision to move in with one another if this relationship is really going to work. And he kind of took that like, dang, if I don't come to New York, you're going to dump me, basically. She was like, no, that's not what I mean. Da, da, da. Anyway, yeah. So, during that time, he eventually reached out to his dad, and he goes out to go visit the dad. And she's like, well, I'll book a flight to come. And he's like, no, it's okay. It's something I need to do for myself. And I know I'm saying this out of order, but now that it's come back to me, I'm just going to tell you. He was like, no, it's okay. I'm going to do it by myself. And then he goes. Find out the information that I already told y'all, and then he drops back. Tell me why. Because I'm not going to say that he's ignoring everybody, but he's in his feelings, and he just needs to sit in them. And then right when he was about to text Lot, because he just got out the shower, and he's like, yeah, I need to talk to her. Right when he got out the shower, guess who's standing there? Lot. Yeah, my girl came and come support her man. That's exactly. And eventually they get married and happily ever after. So yeah, that's that book. I rated a 10 out of 10. 5 stars. Great read. Love the juicy, spicy scenes. Very descriptive, very detailed, very good storyline, very good character development, because you see how Lot was just so hard and just so, and she softens up, and she learns that being soft and bending for people that you love is not a bad thing. Okay, and she learned about the background of her dad, and so that kind of helps with their relationship. She tries to be more understanding, and then he tries to be more understanding, and then the relationship grows, and it's just, it's just a lot. They're both being more vocal with each other, more honest with each other. He's letting her in more, especially with his emotions, instead of blocking them out. And so, yeah, I love the character development. Everything about this book was good. So if you read it and I missed out some juicy details, please drop it down in the comments. Let me know. Let the people know. And yeah, if you haven't read the book, I think you should read it. Okay, bye.